Let's talk about the thing no one wants to admit, but we all feel loneliness. You scroll your phone and everyone's posting, laughing, loving, living. You sit there thinking, what's wrong with me? Why am I alone? And I'm here to tell you the truth. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. But here's what is wrong. We've been sold a lie. We've been told that if you're alone, you're losing. That if you're not constantly surrounded, validated, messaged, seen, loved, then you're failing. But that's not the truth. The truth is, being alone is not the same thing as being lonely. Let me say that again. Being alone is not the same thing as being lonely. Loneliness isn't caused by lack of people. It's caused by lack of connection, and not just with others. First and foremost with yourself. The emptiness you feel, it's not because you're single or because you're not invited. It's because you haven't truly sat down with yourself and said, who am I when no one else is watching? Let me get real with you. Some of you are surrounded by people, and you still feel lonely. You're going to parties, checking boxes, keeping busy. But when the noise fades and the door closes, the silence inside you screams louder than any crowd. You know why? Because you're not connected to you. You want to stop feeling lonely. Don't look for more people. Look for more presence. We run from being alone because we're scared of what we'll find when there's nothing to distract us. But guess what? That space, that silence, that's your greatest teacher. It's in the quiet that you finally hear your truth. It's in the alone moments that you build self-trust. It's in the stillness where you meet the most important person in your life, you. And I get it, being alone can feel uncomfortable. That's because you've been told your value is in being wanted. But your value isn't in being wanted. It's in being whole. You are not a half looking for a half. You are not broken, waiting to be fixed by someone's presence. You are not incomplete just because no one texted you back. You are not lacking. You're learning, you're building, you're growing, and growth often feels like solitude because it is the real work, the deep healing, the clarity, the dreams you're meant to build. They don't happen in the crowd. They happen when you're finally quiet enough to listen to what's inside you. So if you feel lonely right now, I'm not going to tell you to cheer up or find your tribe. I'm going to challenge you to do something different. Sit with yourself. Ask, what am I really feeling right now? Ask, when was the last time I did something for me? Ask, what do I actually want outside of other people's expectations? Because here's the truth. Until you know how to enjoy your own company, no amount of outside attention will fill you up. You've got to learn to date yourself. Take yourself on that walk. Make your own damn coffee. Dance in your kitchen. Speak to yourself like someone worth loving. Because you are. And when you start doing that, when you truly start showing up for yourself, you'll realize something powerful. Being alone is not the enemy. The real enemy, settling for shallow connection just to avoid solitude, choosing distractions over depth, noise over peace, approval over alignment. So, no, being alone won't kill you, but abandoning yourself for the comfort of company that doesn't align with your soul. That will, right now, this season of solitude you're in, it's preparing you, it's making space, it's pulling you back so it can launch you forward. So don't waste it. Don't numb it. Don't scroll it away. Feel it, use it, grow in it, because one day the world is going to ask who you are, and you better not still be waiting for someone else to define you. You already have what you need. It's not out there. It's in you. Sit with yourself, heal yourself, love yourself. That's how you stop feeling lonely, not by finding someone, but by finally finding you. Most people mistake being alone as a red flag, as if it's some kind of failure to not be constantly surrounded by people or notifications. But the truth, being alone is not only natural, it's powerful, and the sooner you start reframing solitude as strength instead of scarcity, the sooner your life changes. When you're alone, you have the space to think without noise, move without judgment, and breathe without pressure. But because we're not taught how to be with ourselves, it feels uncomfortable. We mistake the discomfort for danger. We assume if it feels unfamiliar, it must mean something is wrong. so we rush to fill the silence. With people, with screens, with distractions, anything to avoid sitting in that space of being alone. But here's the shift. What if that space is where the magic is? You see, when you're always with others, physically or digitally, you're absorbing their energy, their opinions, their expectations. You lose sight of your own voice. You forget how to think independently, how to feel your feelings without filtering them through someone else's lens. Being alone gives you the clean slate. It gives you the room to ask, what do I want? And let me tell you, most people can't answer that. Not because they don't want to, but because they've never given themselves permission to even ask. When you're alone, you start seeing patterns you couldn't see when you were busy reacting. You start noticing how much time you were spending people, pleasing, over-explaining, chasing approval, trying to be liked. And when that awareness hits, it's like flipping on a light in a dark room. It stings at first. But then you see what's been there all along, your truth. Solitude strips away the noise. And when you get quiet, really quiet, you don't become less, you become more. You start reconnecting with your instincts. You remember what lights you up. You realize what drains you. And suddenly, all those things you used to tolerate, bad relationships, empty conversations, toxic environments, they start to feel unbearable. Not because you're bitter, but because now you're aware. You can't unsee what you've seen in solitude. You can't unknow your worth once you've finally met yourself in the silence. And here's where it gets powerful. When you know how to be alone, you stop settling. You don't say yes to half-hearted relationships. You don't chase people who are indifferent. You don't stay where you're not growing. Why? Because you know you'll be okay on your own. That's real power. That's emotional independence. That's self-leadership. You want to build confidence. Stop thinking confidence comes from being liked. It doesn't. It comes from being able to sit with yourself fully and say, I got me. That's what being alone teaches you. It teaches you how to be your own anchor, your own hype person, your own peace. And ironically, it's the people who have mastered solitude who show up as the most powerful in the world. Because they're not afraid of the silence. They've made peace with it. They use it. Let's get something straight. This doesn't mean you have to live in isolation or shut out relationships. It means you stop depending on them for your identity. You stop outsourcing your happiness. You stop waiting for someone to choose you so you can feel chosen. You've already chosen you, and from that place, you attract better. You connect deeper, because you're not coming from a place of lack. You're coming from fullness, and relationships built from fullness, those are the real ones, the sustainable ones, the ones where you're not afraid to walk away because you're not afraid to walk alone. This is your invitation to stop running from your own company, to stop seeing alone time as dead space and start seeing it as growth space. Your clarity lives there, your healing lives there, your purpose lives there. But none of it can find you if you're always drowning in distraction. You want to hear your inner wisdom. Turn down the volume of the world. Shut the door. Close the apps. Go for the walk. Write the thoughts. Sit with the discomfort, because eventually the discomfort turns into comfort. The stillness becomes your strength, and when that happens, loneliness, it doesn't control you anymore. It transforms you. So no, being alone is not a red flag. It's a green light. It's permission to build, to discover, to rise. Most people won't take it because silence is hard. But you're not most people. You're here because you're ready to stop running and start reclaiming . It's time. Loneliness is not a life sentence. It's a signal, a message, a knock on the door of your awareness saying, hey, something's out of alignment here. But instead of answering that knock, most people numb it. They bury it under social media scrolls, watching, overworking, and anything else that keeps them busy enough to avoid the silence. But here's the truth. Ignoring the signal doesn't make it go away. It just gets louder, more painful, more consuming, until one day you look up and realize your life is full of distractions but starved of meaning. When you feel lonely, your first instinct might be to blame your relationship status, your friends, your job, your location. But that's surface level. Loneliness isn't always about who is or isn't around you. It's about what's happening inside you. The real root of loneliness is disconnection. Disconnection from your values, your purpose, your passions, your identity. Loneliness is your soul's way of trying to get your attention. It's a built-in alarm system, not to shame you, but to wake you. Think of it like this. If you're hungry, your body sends a hunger signal, you feel it, and you eat. If you ignore that signal long enough, you start to feel sick. You lose energy, you start to break down. Loneliness works the same way. It starts as a whisper, something's off. If you don't respond, it becomes a shout, you're disconnected. And if you keep pushing it down, it becomes a full body ache, anxiety, depression, burnout, hopelessness. So what if, instead of fearing loneliness, you started listening to it? What if you sat down and said, okay, what are you trying to teach me? Because it is trying to teach you. Maybe it's showing you that the life you're living doesn't match the life you desire. Maybe it's pointing out that you've been giving to everyone but yourself. Maybe it's revealing that you've outgrown a version of yourself and now you need to evolve. Loneliness often appears during transitions, after a breakup, after moving cities, after walking away from a toxic environment. That's because in shedding what's no longer serving us, we create space, and that space can feel scary. But here's the shift. That space isn't empty. It's sacred. It's where you plant new roots. It's where you build the foundation for the next chapter of your life. If you keep trying to fill the space of loneliness with noise and people who don't truly see you, you're not solving the problem, you're just covering it up. You don't need more people around you. You need more alignment within you. That means getting honest about what actually matters to you, about the goals you've been putting off, the boundaries you haven't set, the dreams you've let collect dust. The people who truly overcome loneliness are not the ones who surround themselves with a crowd. They're the ones who dig deep into themselves and reconnect. They rebuild trust with their intuition. They explore their interests, get curious about what brings them alive, and stop waiting for someone else to do it for them. Because here's what no one tells you, you can feel more connected in 1 hour of authentic solitude than in a full day of superficial interaction. Let me repeat that you can feel more connected in 1 hour of authentic solitude than in a full day of superficial interaction. You don't need 50 friends. You need one you who is awake, aligned, and engaged with life. Start small, go on walks without headphones, write in a journal not for performance but for truth, cook a meal for yourself and eat it slowly, listen to music that makes you feel something, ask yourself deeper questions, not what do I need to do today, but what do I need to feel whole today. These small moments of awareness become the threads that stitch you back to yourself, and once you reconnect, everything shifts. You start making better decisions. You stop chasing validation. You become magnetic because you're operating from fullness, not lack. That's the power of listening to the signal. When you decode your loneliness instead of drowning in it, you gain wisdom most people never access. You become self-aware, grounded, whole, and from that place, you're able to attract real connection, not the kind that masks your emptiness, but the kind that celebrates your wholeness. So if you're feeling lonely, don't panic. Don't run, just pause, listen, let it speak, because what you're feeling is not weakness, it's guidance. It's your internal compass redirecting you toward truth. And the moment you start honoring that truth, The loneliness begins to lift not because something outside you changed, but because you did. Loneliness is not the end. It's the beginning of your most powerful relationship, the one with yourself. Listen to it, learn from it, and let it lead you home. Validation addiction is real, and it's draining your power. We live in a world that runs on likes, comments, and constant feedback. Every post, every decision, every move. People are waiting to see who claps, who agrees, who approves. But here's the hard truth. The more you rely on external validation, the less you trust yourself. And when you stop trusting yourself, you start shrinking. You hesitate. You question. You abandon your instincts to chase approval. That's not growth, that's imprisonment. You weren't born needing permission to live your truth. Somewhere along the way, you learned that love is earned by pleasing, that success is measured by applause, that your worth is up for vote, but none of that is true. The truth is, you were born enough, whole, worthy, and the more you try to prove that to others, the further you drift from remembering it yourself. Here's what most people don't realize. When you're chasing validation, you're not living life for yourself. You're curating a version of your life you hope others will accept. You mute your voice. You shrink your goals. You play small so you don't make anyone uncomfortable. And what does that leave you with? An image that looks good on the outside but feels hollow on the inside. And that's where the loneliness creeps in. Because even if the whole world applauds your performance, if you know you're not being real, it will never feel like enough. It can't, because the version they love isn't you. It's your mask. The most powerful shift you can make is this. Start seeking self-validation. Not ego-driven arrogance, but grounded confidence. The kind that says, I know who I am, and I don't need you to co-sign it. That doesn't mean you ignore feedback or isolate yourself. It means your identity is no longer dependent on someone else's opinion. You become your own source of worth, your own compass, your own anchor. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped waiting for people to understand you before you gave yourself permission to thrive. Think about the dreams you've delayed because you feared judgment, the risks you've avoided because you wanted everyone's blessing, the times you said yes when your soul screamed no, just to keep the peace. You don't need a committee to approve your life. You need courage to own it, to take the leap, to do the thing, even if no one claps, even if they criticize, because the goal is not to impress them. The goal is to respect yourself. And here's the paradox. The more you validate yourself, the more authentic you become. And authenticity, that's magnetic. That's what draws the right people into your life, the ones who love the real you, not the edited version. That's what leads to real connection, real impact, real fulfillment. Let's get practical. Start catching yourself when you look outward for validation. Did you just check how many people liked that post before deciding how you feel about it? Are you asking for feedback on a decision you already know the answer to? Are you waiting for someone else to tell you you're doing a good job instead of acknowledging your own effort? Flip the script. Write down your wins, celebrate your progress, check in with you first, learn to trust your gut again, because every time you validate yourself, you build inner strength, and every time you outsource that validation, you weaken it. Think about kids learning to walk. They don't wait for someone to tell them it's okay to try. They fall. They get up. They try again. They don't ask, do you think I can do this? They no asterisk, they can, because that belief hasn't been stripped away yet. Somewhere along the way, you knew how to back yourself. It's time to return to that version of you. It's going to be uncomfortable at first. When you stop looking for constant approval, you're going to feel exposed. Vulnerable, maybe even a little lost. That's normal. That's detox. You've been wired to perform for praise. Rewiring takes time, but stay with it, because on the other side is freedom. Freedom from needing to explain yourself. Freedom from performing. Freedom from people. Pleasing yourself into resentment. Validation is not evil, but it is empty when it's your only source of self-worth. You don't need to be told you matter, you already do. You don't need to be liked to be valuable, you already are. The work isn't to get more approval. The work is to get so aligned with who you are that whether or not they get it, you're still proud to stand in your truth. You're not here to win a popularity contest, you're here to win your asterisk life. Asterisk, and the more you show up for that, the more unstoppable you become. When you hit a low point in your life, when the noise stops, the friends vanish, the success fades, or the heartbreak hits, you're left with one person. You, and in that silence, in that rock bottom place, something incredible can happen. You get the rare chance to meet yourself without all the masks. No filters, no pretense, just you and the truth. And that truth. It can hurt like hell, but it can also set you free. Because here's what most people never learn. Your greatest strength isn't found in how popular you are, or how much you achieve, or how many people love you. It's found in your ability to be alone and not abandon yourself. The world will try to teach you that solitude is a punishment, that being alone means something's wrong with you, but that's a lie. Some of the strongest, most successful, most grounded people you'll ever meet are the ones who took time to sit with themselves and did the work others ran from. You don't become powerful by avoiding the hard parts. You become powerful by facing them, and solitude gives you that opportunity. When you stop filling the space with distractions and actually sit in your own presence, you start hearing things you've been running from. Your fears, your limiting beliefs, your buried pain. But you also start uncovering something else, your resilience, your clarity, your fire. There's something profoundly transformative about realizing you can survive the silence. That you can cry your eyes out, feel completely lost, question everything, and asterisk still wake up the next morning asterisk, still breathe, still rise. That's not weakness, that's power. That's the kind of strength that can't be taught, it has to be earned. The problem is, most people never get there because they're too busy numbing. The second they feel the ache of being alone, they grab their phone, they call someone, they distract themselves. But what if you didn't escape it this time? What if you sat in it long enough to learn from it? Because loneliness has lessons. It's not there to break you. It's there to rebuild you, to help you strip away the noise and get brutally honest about your life, your choices, your patterns, your purpose. When you're not afraid to be alone, you become dangerous in the best possible way because you stop depending on others to complete you. You stop settling for half-hearted connections just to fill a void. You stop betraying yourself just to belong. And instead, you start building a life that feels good even when no one's watching. You start becoming someone who can walk into a room and not need attention because you are attention. Someone who doesn't beg for energy because you create it. Someone who doesn't chase love because you embody it. That kind of self-relationship isn't built overnight. It's built moment by moment. Day by day, every time you show up for yourself, every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you choose to grow instead of run, you're laying the foundation. And eventually, you reach a point where being alone doesn't feel empty. It feels sacred. You begin to protect your energy. You become selective with who gets access to you, not from fear, but from self-respect. You realize that solitude doesn't make you lonely. Lack of connection with yourself does. So you nurture that connection, you water it, you feed it with routines that ground you, habits that honor you, thoughts that empower you, because here's the real win. When you build a life where you enjoy your own company, you become unshakable. Relationships no longer define your worth. Opinions no longer dictate your value. Attention no longer fuels your sense of self. You become the source, you become home, and from that place, you attract everything differently. Opportunities, friendships, partnerships, because you're no longer operating from lack, you're coming from overflow. You don't need anything, which means what you allow into your life is there because you want it. not because you're desperate for it. The world tells you to find your person, but what if your person is you? What if the love you've been craving, the acceptance, the peace, it's not something you have to chase out there? It's something you have to reclaim asterisk in here. Asterisk. So if you're in a season of being alone right now, don't rush through it. Don't see it as a setback. See it as a sacred pause, a divine invitation, the chance to finally get to know the one person you spend every second of your life with, yourself. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of becoming the version of you who doesn't just survive being alone, but asterisk thrives asterisk in it, who creates, who heals, who rises, without permission, without apology, without fear. Let it hurt, let it teach, let it grow you, because the person you become on the other side of solitude is unstoppable. Being alone doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're unlovable, unwanted, or unlucky. It means you're human. It means you're living in the space between what was and what will be. And in that space, if you're willing to lean in instead of run away, you'll discover something most people miss their entire lives: the profound strength in being whole on your own. We are taught from the earliest moments of our lives to measure our worth based on the relationships around us. Who are you dating? Who's your friend's circle? Are you married yet? Got kids? The questions never stop, and they all carry the same subtext. Your value is based on who chooses you. But let's challenge that. What if the most important relationship you'll ever have is with yourself? What if the time you spend alone is not a waiting room, but a workshop? This isn't about glorifying isolation. It's about recognizing the gold hidden in the quiet. Because the truth is, a lot of people in relationships are lonelier than those who are single. Why? Because they've lost themselves trying to hold onto someone else. They've made themselves smaller, quieter, easier to love, and in the process, they've become strangers to their own dreams. That's not connection. That's codependency, and you don't need that. What you need is reconnection, with your voice, your needs, your soul. Aloneness is not a punishment, it's an opportunity. It's the chance to ask the questions that really matter. What do you want? Not what do your parents want, not what your partner wants, not what Instagram tells you to want. What asterisk you asterisk want? Who are you when no one is watching? What kind of life lights you up? These are the questions you can only answer in solitude, and when you do answer them, you stop settling. You stop accepting crumbs when you know you deserve the whole damn table. You stop playing it safe with people who drain you just because you're scared of the silence, because here's the thing, the silence isn't your enemy, it's your mirror. It reflects back everything you've been too busy to see. Your truth, your potential, your pain, your healing. It's uncomfortable at first. Growth always is. Sitting with yourself, really sitting, with no distractions, no noise. It can feel awkward, even painful. But that's where the magic starts, because when you get past the discomfort, you start to hear a voice that's been drowned out for years, your own. You start remembering what makes you laugh, what makes you feel alive, what dreams you had before life told you to be realistic. You rediscover your creativity, your fire, your purpose. And once you do, you can never go back to living a life that's anything less than authentic. You stop comparing, you stop performing, you stop trying to fit into a version of yourself that someone else designed, and instead you step into your own power, your own rhythm, your own truth, and from that place you don't just exist, you thrive. You also begin to attract differently. When you're full on your own, you stop looking for people to complete you. You're not desperate, you're not needy, you're not trying to be chosen, you've already chosen yourself. So the relationships you build from there, they're rooted in mutual respect, not survival. They're aligned, not forced. You begin to see love not as something to be earned, but something to be shared. You don't beg for affection. You embody it. You don't chase people. You connect with them from a place of wholeness. And that's the kind of love that lasts. That's the kind of love that doesn't suffocate, but empowers. This is your invitation to stop running from yourself, to stop treating your aloneness like a curse, to stop believing the lie that you're only valuable when someone else says so. You are not half of a whole. You are not missing pieces, you are complete, you are capable, and you are ready to build a life that reflects that. So take the trip by yourself, eat at the restaurant alone, turn your phone off and sit with your thoughts. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, because every moment you spend getting to know yourself is an investment in your future, a future where you no longer settle for less, because you know exactly what you bring to the table. A future where being alone isn't scary, it's sacred. And when you learn to enjoy your own company, to truly love yourself, the irony is you're never really alone again. Because you've got you, and that, right there, is the foundation for everything else in your life. So let this be your reminder. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not alone in your loneliness. You are growing. You are healing. You are becoming. And this chapter, the one where it's just you, it might be the most important one you ever write.